You don't need to hate yourself for having cancer or have this self-deprecating type of idea about yourself that somehow you did something wrong and God is punishing you with this cancer. That's just not true. It's just not. So you always want to be thinking positively. All right. Now I want to go back. I said we have a little bit of time. I want to go back when we talk about taking control. I want to tell people about this test called Signatera, and I'm going to have a representative from that company on. Signatera, it's a company, it's a part of a company called Natera, Natera. Now, what Signatera does, it takes your blood and it takes the tissue from your cancer biopsy. So it knows exactly the type of cancer that you have. And it looks for DNA fragments in the blood. All right. So it can tell whether or not the cancer is present or not, if the DNA from the cancer is present or not. And it is so valuable for people, for cancer patients to take control and help them make decisions. Now, I'll tell you how I use it. So, if a patient comes in and they have a cancer diagnosis, we draw their blood, we send it to Signatera, and they give us a level of how much cancer DNA is in the blood. So, with whatever treatment you decide, whether it's traditional treatment or alternative treatment, we follow that initially every 6 weeks. So, if I'm giving them vitamin C or they're taking herbs or whatever, we follow it up 3 weeks later and 6 weeks later to see if that number is going up or down. And it tells us is it working prior to you waiting to see it on a scan? Because by the time you can see it visually on a scan, it has been around for a long time. And now it's much harder to try and cause a regression of that tumor. So, and in another case, we had the patient had surgery and they told her, hey, look, you better do chemotherapy and radiation because we don't know if we got it all. Well, we did the Signatera test after the surgery, and it was a minuscule amount of cancer DNA there. We kept doing the vitamin C. She kept doing all the other things that she was doing. We repeated it 6 weeks later, and it was negative. So she could go back to the oncologist and say, hey, you got it all. There's no remnants of this left. So we don't have to have a treatment based on fear or being worried that it may come back. And we'll continue to follow her. And if there's any evidence that it's recurring, we will get it early. And I had another patient who she had been negative for a while, and all of a sudden it went up a little bit. Well, when we saw that, I told her, I said, look, we're going to go back to doing the vitamin C. You're going to go back to doing everything you were doing before, changing your diet because people, they get lackadaisical. She went back. She said, okay, I'm going to do everything I did when I was first diagnosed because she never had traditional treatment. And she went back, she started doing it. We did the Signatera test 3 or 6 weeks later, and it was negative. So that just shows you your lifestyle and the things you can do can actually change your condition. The other one we talked about, so social support. That's what Miss Harris. She's a big advocate for that. Her My Style Matters. It's all about having support, having other people around you to encourage you, and people that you can encourage. It's a two-way street with this. Okay, you need to be encouraged, and then you can encourage someone else. And that's what we're talking about, love going from heart to heart and breast to breast. If we're talking about spirituality, is that the energy that you take in, the healing energy that you're creating, you need to let that flow through you to someone else. Okay. And then deepening your spiritual connection. And that's, you know, the whole reason why I'm the spiritual MD and I wear this is because that spiritual connection is so, so important. It's important for you to receive or be able to recognize that intuitive thought that you have. That connection with the spirit helps you to keep the faith, is that there is a higher being that is in control. And if you can connect with that higher being, whatever you want to call it, and that's what I've learned in longevity medicine, is that spirituality is universal. Religion is something, it's different for different people, but in every longevity practice or remission, they talk about spirituality. They don't talk about religion. They talk about the importance of spirituality. Now, spirituality can come through religion, no doubt about it. I'm not anti-religion, all right? But that religion has to go further than you just going to church. It has to go further than that. It has to be a daily practice. I daily try to connect with God, the universe, whatever. You have to have some type of spiritual routine to get you into that connection. And the last thing is having a reason to live. And and that's just not for cancer patients. Okay, I think anyone, I'm trying to promote longevity, and you have to have a reason to live. Yesterday, I was taking my wife's car up to get a service, and an 85-year-old man saw it was three people there, and he said, "Wow, nobody talks to each other anymore. Everybody's on their phone." And I'm like, "You're right." I put my phone down and we started talking. It's an 85-year-old. He had been married for 50 years. His wife passed away. He's a Vietnam vet. His father was he's Jewish. His father was his grandfather was part of the Holocaust that was survived that, and he was one of the most interesting people I've met. And he works at Napa Auto Parts. And he said, "Look, hey, what do you want me to do? Go home and die? No, I get up and go to work. I work part time. I go home, take a nap. I read." He was talking about how much he reads. He speaks four languages fluently. The person next to me was from Poland, and he started speaking Polish to her. And then he asked her, "Do you speak German?" He spoke German. He speaks French. He speaks English. He's 85. And he says, "I read a lot and I have a reason to get up in the morning." And I don't care if you have cancer or you're just trying to live a long, healthy life. You have to have a reason to get up. The reason I get up is to study what I'm trying to give to you. And so that's why I started the school group. Please join my school group is school.com/ageless. And this is where we're going to go into depth on subjects like this and all types of subjects that deal with longevity and living a life of abundance. And that's why I'm doing this. I told you that one of my goals is that I want to be able to provide this type of information and some of these options to people who don't even have the money for IV vitamin C, some of the things that I do in my office. So please join the school group. Please subscribe to our Ageless Blueprint podcast.com and support our podcast. And please share this information with anyone who you think it could help. Um, so I'm passionate about this. I'm telling you, I love my cancer patients because they come to me every week. We talk, we we share information, and I try to provide them with faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. So, uh, Rebel, do we? I know we have got about 30 seconds left. Anything that we should go over, or anything I missed?
Tell everybody about the book one more time and suggest where to get it.
Yeah. It's a Radical Remission. I know this is backwards, but it's Radical Remission by Dr. Kelly Turner. Uh, yeah, you just see it's over 1,000. She interviewed 1,000 people, and those 9 characteristics uh, seem to be the common denominator of people who were successful with a radical remission. And none of that cost $60,000.
Awesome. Great information. And I hope everybody listens and hears what was said today. You need to know
And
yourself and you need to know that you know you better than anybody else.
exactly. And please, share it with somebody who needs a little hope, because cancer is a scary